Hello everyone, it's me, Slippery. That's what I call myself. I don't call myself I Slipped, I call me Slippery. And today I'm going to be explaining the importance and how much I like, and basically how Doors entity works. And I'm explaining the importance. Now, if you don't know what I mean, every Doors entity is important in one way or another. You could probably say that. Now, if you're entering this video blind and you don't know what Doors is, well then I suggest you play it. But just for your sake, I'll give you a quick rundown on what Doors is about. So Doors is a game that has been straight up skyrocketing with popularity recently. It's a game where you're in a hotel and you have to go through 100 doors facing off entities like Rush and Seek. Now I gave those as main examples because those are some of the very first ones you would see. And general examples. And to survive them, you need to do different things. Like for Rush, you need to hide in a closet. And then, for let's say Halt, you gotta turn around or walk backwards. Very simple. And you have stuff like the library and Seek Chase, which are like different things, and they prevent anyone from spawning in there besides Jack in the library. And they're consisting of everything basically, so you gotta go through 100 doors without dying basically, and just survive a bunch of entities, I guess. So I want to get you a quick rundown of every single entity in the game. Well, technically isn't a rundown, it's just me explaining why all of them are important. But that doesn't matter. Okay? Doesn't matter. Alright. Our first person that I'm going to talk about is probably the person who comes into mind when you think of Doors. You know who it is. It's Rush. You all know him. And even if you watch Doors and don't play it, you all know who he is. He's basically the one person who comes to mind when you think of Doors. So, Rush, if Rush wasn't in the game, then who imagines how the game would have been today? The game has practically been changed by Rush. Rush is a guy who, as you saw, he could come when you open a door to the next room. Now, in order to survive that, you have to go in a closet or a bed or a place where his hitbox can't touch you. And if you're unfortunate enough, or just couldn't find a closet, because I'm not going to be mean and just say you suck, but if you somehow couldn't get to a closet or any safety place, this will happen. You get jump scared. Now, when I said he changed the game, I wasn't lying. Rush is the true game changer. Without Rush, Doors wouldn't be where it is. It wouldn't be the same. Rush is basically the guy you would first see. And he also helps you deal with a guy that I'm going to be talking about later today. And I think you already know who I'm going to talk about. And he's basically the beginner guy that could help set you up for Doors. And yeah, there isn't really much to say about him, other than He's a very good entity, and my personal opinion on him is that if the game didn't have him, it would be a totally different game, and that's why I like him. He's always been cool. Alright, the next person we're going to talk about is Eyes. Oh wow, perfect timing. Now, Eyes, as some of you know, well, most of you should know, is an entity that could spawn when you open a door to a room, and he could spawn anywhere for that matter. And he has a pretty basic mechanic. Don't look at him, and you'll be good. Now, I like this because, just be cautious of every door you go in. Be really cautious, or you could be caught by Eyes. He isn't insta-kill, but still, just to be safe. So I'm not saying you'll never die to him, since it is very well that you will die to him eventually sometime. There's a very high chance you can. Because you don't really know a lot about the game when you come in blind. So you won't have the basic assumption that you need to, not look at him, I suppose. It's not that complicated. Just don't look at him and you'll be safe. Now, how did Eyes change doors? Well, Eyes is actually one of the 2 or maybe 3 people that make Doors players more cautious when playing Doors. And thanks a lot, Screech. You got rushed to kill me. Thanks. But he makes it more cautious because every room you could go in, Eyes could spawn in there and potentially end your run. So always be prepared to look down, because there's a very good chance you could be on low health and then Eyes appears. You're not prepared. So he actually prepares you and makes it overall good time. And that's why Eyes is good. Alright, next person on the list, Ambush. So, this is the guy I was talking that Rush could set you up for. Okay. So I think some of you know where I'm going with this, even if you haven't played Doors. So by the name Ambush, you could tell that he's different from Rush, but is sort of like him as well. So the name Ambush basically tells you that he's going to ambush you. Now, to people who don't know that, then figure it out yourself, because I do not feel like explaining it. But basically, he'll ambush you, so you have to hide in a closet. Same old thing. But when he comes into the room, which you shouldn't let him, you're dead. But wait, you're probably like, so what's so special about this dude? Well, he rebounds, which provides the name Ambush. So basically, he comes into a room and then goes to the end of that room and then comes back. And then some people just stay in the closet, but Hyde will push them out, which will kill them. So every time Ambush leaves, they have to, get out of the closet and then get back in. Now, the reason why I said you shouldn't let Ambush into your room is he doesn't have a hitbox, which you're probably thinking, then how does he kill you if you didn't play Doors? But if you do play Doors, then you already know what I'm about to say. Ambush does not have a hitbox. He has a raycast. So if you're in his line of sight from any proportion, then he will kill you. If you're in front of them, dead. If you're behind him, which you shouldn't in the first place, dead. If you're to the right of him, dead. If you're to the left of him, dead. All he needs is a straight path to you, and you're dead. Straight up dead. Now, what does this teach you? Timing. You need to time when you go into closet, kids. That's what you need to do. Nothing else. Learn timing with this guy, and you'll be good. Although I do suggest if you get him, don't hide, like, at the exact front of the room. Because with his raycast, he could attack you with that. So, just keep that in mind. It's not really good to hide in the front of the room when ambush is coming because his raycast. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. Because one day that might pay off. So, keep that in mind. And you'll be good. So, ambush teaches you timing. And why is he important to game? Well, I don't know. To make the game harder, I guess. And give you better timing skills. I guess that's the reason why it's important. Yeah, okay. Those are only two reasons why it's important. Next game I'm going to talk about is probably the guy who goes very unrecognized and gets little recognition, but deserves it, is Hyde. Now, he's that one dude who a ton of people hate because they push him out of closets. They push them out of closets and they deal damage to you, and you'll get annoyed. But this guy was revolutionary to doors when you think about it. So basically, you got time when you go in. You can't go in too early, but you can go in too late. You probably thought I was gonna say, but you can't go in too late either. So just don't go in too early, and you'll be safe. That applies for rush. What about ambush? The reason why I said if you hide in the closet for so long and then ambush will kill you is because he'll push you out after a little bit. Yeah, and it deals 40 damage, and then you can't go back in the closet after that for around like 5 seconds or something like that. So, what do you learn from Hyde? That he's very good at keeping the game managed. But you also gotta learn that you can't go in too early. And you can't stay in a closet forever and expect to still survive. Because that's stupid. And that will never happen. So don't even think about it. Because that won't happen. But wait. You know how Hyde was a revolutionary, right? Well, if Hyde didn't exist, there would be no point of having ambush. Since you could just hide all the way through and he'll just be like another rush, but just longer and more annoying. And that's why Hyde really is one of the most important people ever. Now you know how saying you can't hide too early, but you can hide too late. Well, that applies for most of the time, but the next guy proves that statement wrong. Jack, which makes the statement you can't hide too early, but you can hide late to a whole nother level. And it's not in a good way. Jack is a person who could appear in a closet and in a hallway sometimes, but that's like 1 in 2,000. So you probably won't experience it. So don't give your hopes up, because it probably won't happen to you. I know some of you have had it happen to you before, but I'm talking about the people that have never had it happen to them like me. But, so, hallway Jack can't harm you. Just like the real Jack can't harm you. Technically. And technically, he can't harm you, because technically he could kill you. And how's that? Because he'll jump scare you in the closet, and then it won't let you go in it for like a second or two. So, yeah, rush or ambush could get you when that happens, so don't hide too late, kids. Or else Jack will get you killed. But he only has like a 5% chance or something like that of coming, so don't think he's like every door occurrence. Because he really isn't, okay? He's kind of hard to get. So don't think he'll appear like every second you hide in a closet. Because he won't. So just to let you know, you're safe from that. Now the next guy we're going to be talking about on this list is none other than Seek. One of the most recognizable characters, and oh my god, y'all all know what he's here for. He has a very good theme. They knocked it out of the park with his theme. But you know what they also knocked it out of the park? Making cringe fan arts of him. I'm looking at you, community. Why are you making cringe fan arts of him, huh? What's up with that? I mean, it's too weird to be true. I'm talking about Seek-chan. A name that I probably shouldn't have said. But I still said anyways. Okay, Seek is pretty basic. He spawns in a room, yeah. And you just run away from him. But wait, he's not just running away. So there's two types of rooms. One, the rooms where crawl spaces, where you have to crawl under them. You know, the only real places where you have to crawl. Besides vents and the main room. And second, the pick a path rooms is what I like to call them. The rooms where you just pick a path. Now the guiding light could help you on this, because they illuminate the door. That's correct. Not fully, but you get the deal. They don't fully light it up, like I've been saying, because they'll make it too easy. So instead they light it up just a little bit. Enough so you could see it. You know? Just enough so you could see it. Now, in the second Seek chase, there's a big major difference between that and the first Seek chase. So, here's this. In the second Seek chase, it's only the pick a path rooms. No crawl spaces. No crawl spaces. Now that makes it a nightmare for some players, but makes it really easy for our players. It's supposed to be really easy for me, but it's actually turned into a nightmare because of one component, lag, and I've been opening too many doors. And I die there a lot because of lag, and it really gets me. But it has banger music. It's really fast-paced and intense. Y'all, if you haven't tried Doors yet, you should really try it out. Because it's great. It's great, man. Bro, it's like top tier. Freaking top tier. I'm not even joking, man. Go play it. You didn't pay me to say this. It's actually too good. Too good! To not mention its goodness. Also, a person who I don't really feel like mentioning in this video, but deserves their own little part in the video is Screech. Now, at first I didn't want to mention them since they don't really do a whole lot. But after second thought, I decided I would mention every single person. So I decided that sure, I would do it. And I would do Screech. And yeah, it's Screech. I didn't really feel like mentioning them since I thought they didn't deserve their own part. But I think they deserve it, because they're actually pretty important, if you think about it in the long run. Now, let's get on to my point why I think Screech is important. So Screech is this little guy who could appear in dark rooms. Now, you probably see where I'm going with this. I say he could appear in dark rooms. Now, you're probably wondering, why is it every time I leave a stupid dark room, I always look around like an idiot? Simple explanation. Screech. He ain't friendly. He bites you. And how do you survive from him biting you? You obviously look at him. It's so obvious, man. It actually isn't. It's not obvious at all. You wouldn't be looking at him the first time you see him. He appears in dark rooms and jump scares you. And if you don't look at him, then he bites you. Simple as that. But what does this teach you? To be more cautious. To be, in fact, way more cautious. And that's why you should always look around. At every single cost you're in a dark room or when you come out, because he could follow you out. Some people don't know that, but yeah, he could follow you out. Be aware! Be aware, he could follow you out of the freaking dark rooms. I'm not even joking. He could follow you out of the dark rooms, okay? You know what I'm saying. That's what makes him more terrifying, so it makes him a pretty special guy. Be aware. Be aware. Okay? Now, the next guy. Halt. Now, I personally like him. I like him a lot, because I think he's cool. And then, if you're new to Doors, then you probably won't get why I say speedrunners hate him. Okay, so Halt is a guy that accomplishes exactly what his name says. He basically halts you from going on to the next door, which is kind of false, but I guess sort of true at the same time. Now, you fellow Doors players, you probably won't get why I say false. It's because the door frame there is to indicate that isn't endless. But that technically means you just entered a new door, since you could go in door 7 on Halt Room, and then you exit out and it's door 9. So technically, it doesn't halt you from going in a door. But at the same time, it does, if you think about it logically. Now, Halt is a guy who halts you with a long hallway that consists of 2 doors. And it's pretty long. But here's the thing. When you first enter a room, he'll start slowly chasing behind you. And then there will be a thing saying, turn around. Now, new Doors players would be like this when it says turn around. But some of you fellow Doors players know to do this when it says turn around. But have you guys ever heard of the even more better thing to do, which I don't do because I'm too scared, to do this when he comes? So he doesn't even touch you, since most of the times when he's coming at you, he just doesn't touch you. Unless you run in straight to him, then yeah. But, yeah. I haven't really seen a lot of people do this, except, one speedrunner. And I forgot who, but I figured this out on my own, but I've always been too scared to use it. So, there's many ways to survive him. He turns the whole room blue. He has a lot of drawers in there, although I highly do not recommend looting while you're doing the sequence, because it could get you killed, or you could get someone while doing that. And yeah, it's not good, because he could just kill you. Although it is good when you exit the room, the door doesn't close or anything, so you could go back in there. And guess what? Halt doesn't come back when you go in there, so loot all you want once you're done, because he can't harm you any time once you're out of there. So you're perfectly safe and sound once you're really done with it. Safe and sound for real. Not lying. Not lying, for real. Okay, now this next guy I want to talk about is a guy who barely appears. He could appear on purpose or an accident. It's Glitch. Probably the only guy ever that could appear on purpose. Besides the old ambush. You guys probably don't know, but there was supposed to be this thing called Glitchy Band-Aid, which would heal you fully up but spawn an ambush next room, so yeah, most of you probably didn't know that, but it's true. And to be honest, as a person who could survive ambush pretty well, I would have loved that being added in. That would have been like a dream come true. But they didn't. They scrapped it. Like they always scrap good things. Except for mobile entities. Those were the only ones that deserved to be scrapped. Because they suck. Back then, it was only Jack and Ambush. So what could I say? That I don't like them. So basically, Glitch is the guy I'm going to be talking about. And that's why I brought up the whole Glitchy Band-Aid thing. Now, he could either appear on accident or on purpose. And if you technically think about it, he could. Both of the times he appears are technically on purpose. Now, the first reason why he could appear is you're lagging behind. Not actually lagging, but behind, like 5 doors behind someone. And this usually happens to people who are very sadly paired up with speedrunners. I know, it's terrible for them. But it's what happens when you play doors. Get paired up with people you don't like. Because anyone on and everyone you see on playing doors is a stranger. Even yourself. And when I say this, I'm serious. I don't know myself very well. So, yeah. Just avoid being in a match with a speedrunner, even though you really can't. And the second guy, not Hug, the second time he come up here is as a failsafe. So, if a room doesn't load properly, then it'll take you, Glitch will take you, and teleport you to the next room. Also, when I say take you, he doesn't actually do any damage. Besides, when he does it when a speedrunner or something like that, you know, that's when he attacks. Okay? None other times is when he attacks. Alright, so don't be scared if you heard that he attacks and then you get attacked in a private server or something like that. It's okay. It's just a failsafe. Alright. So here are the guys that aren't as relevant after I explain these next two. These people are like the not really relevant people that you won't really care about after these two people. Alright, so the first one I'm talking about is the figure. Probably the most important one in the entire game. Appearing in 2 rooms. Room 50 and Room 100. And these rooms changed the game just like he did. Now, he's blind. Just like Green from Rainbow Friends, but he's better. He's better than Green from Rainbow Friends. But But he has super hearing. Like, he has super senses besides sight. So don't let that fool you and just run around in the library when you first get there. Now, why did I say library? Because that room you just saw me in was his room, the library. Now, the library is probably one of the most hated, if not the most hated room in the entire game. Because there's people complaining on how hard it is. It really isn't. Once you get the hang of it, it becomes easier. Still, you won't guarantee pass it every single time, but it's still just easier. Now, some of you have been looking at tutorials on how to beat it and that you didn't get the code in. I won't shame you or anything like that, because I was one of those people when I first got there as well. So, don't feel like you're stupid because you have to search up a video that tells you how to do figure. It's okay. You're alright. I was one of those people too. The code is confusing when you first see it. Okay? I get it. I was one of those too. Now, for those who don't know, this is what the code is like. So there will be 8 books across the library. And 5 of them are part of the real code, but 3 of them aren't. And this is what makes it more interesting, to say the very least. Now I gotta find the real books and the fake books. And actually there isn't really any difference to real books and fake books, so yeah, you're gonna have to deal with it, sorry. And these are 2 people who have never gone to a library before, ever. Don't be sad. At least be sort of happy that you got there. Don't be sad at all. It's all fine. It's all good. But, just, yeah. So, you gotta get these books. They will have a symbol on it and then a number. So let's say circle 6. You probably won't understand it when you see it. But then there's this paper, and it'll have all the symbols, right? So you need to get the book with all with the symbols. And basically, what you do is you look at the number on that was put next to symbol. Now, there's the code. The number that was put next to the symbol is what the code is. So if you got like circle and it was the first part of the paper and the number was 6, then it would be 6 as the start. You seeing where I'm going with this, people? Now, the library, I've already explained it a little bit. Fine. And that's probably the most troublesome room in the entire game where people struggle on. Now, you're probably going to be thinking, why isn't it door 100 if you've never played Doors? Well, that's simple. You never played Doors before. So that's why you would get the idea. Because in reality, door 100 is way easier than door 50. So, they meant for it to be like the final part of the game and be really intimidating, sort of. But it isn't, because when the cutscene is playing for a split second, not a split second, but like 2 to 3 seconds, he'll fall down. And then, he'll just be there for like a second. And then you could run past him, go upstairs, and straight up get the key by running past him. I know. Get the key by running past him, go down, and do the electrical room. Now, the intended way is you're supposed to run back and hide into a closet, and he'll check all of them, one by one. But no one does that. So, don't do it. do it the simple and short way. There's like no freaking take-backs to the shortcut way. Now, once you enter the thing / the electrical room, you will be presented with the electrical box. Now, don't worry, there isn't a set amount of time where if you don't complete in time, figure will come in and straight up kill you. You know, that won't happen, okay? It won't happen, okay? That's not true. Okay, so if you think it is, it isn't. Now, the code you'll be presented with is the electrical box. And there'll be, like, numbers 1 through 10. And you'll have, like, the switch. And they're all set as dark when you're doing it first. But then some of them will be light. So you turn on the light ones. Like, if 4 is lit up when it's presenting the code, you do 4. And if it isn't lit up, then you don't do it. You keep it dark / not switched on. And you keep on doing this for all the numbers, but there's actually an easier way. When you enter there, click on all the numbers, and once you're done, when you're done clicking all the numbers, which should take a second or two, you can turn off the ones that are dark. And there's usually fewer dark ones than light ones. So put that into your brain and think about it. Use that tactic. It's the tactic I use, and it's really effective. Now, once you're done with that, I would say you could run back and get out of the electrical room and run straight up the stairs so you could go and finish the game, because after that there's no more threats. Now, you might be thinking, will anything be chasing you? No, not at all. Not at all. After you're done with that, you just run upstairs. I think you're given around a solid 10 seconds, I would say, to run away from the figure, I guess. Solid 10 seconds. I don't really know, but according to my calculations, I would say solid 10 seconds to run to the elevator. And out of those solid 10 seconds, he would be running at you at a very high speed. But it's almost impossible to die at that. So, if you think you're gonna die easily at that, you won't. You won't. I'm just reassuring you. It's pretty hard to die at that part. And now, the second guy I want to talk about is probably, if not the only helping one in the entire game. Yep, you all know who it is. It's Guiding Light. The infamous one who tells you the death messages and provides tips. Not only does the Guiding Light have an effect after game, but also has an effect in game, where they make noises so you could hear a book or a key in a room. Pretty simple. Or they illuminate up certain area in the dark room to help you navigate around, or a key in a locked dark room to help you find it. And it's overall pretty basic, but pretty helpful. They also make a noise to help you hear stuff that if you can't find it. So yeah, it's pretty basic. Gives you tips. Changes the game a lot, just like Figure. Probably one of the 2 biggest game changers besides Rush. And yeah, pretty. Okay, what? I can't even say my words there. Alright, and now we're on to final 3. And yeah, I'm just gonna. They ain't really that important, but I still want to talk about them, just so you know. Okay, so first one I'm gonna be talking about is let's see. So you might be thinking, well, it's probably gonna be a human if you've never played Doors. It isn't. It's a spider. Yes, like a thing like so many humans hate. Spiders. It was a running gag that was made in the development of Doors. And yeah. Now he's the only one that actually affects you in game out of these last 3 I'm gonna talk about. So he just jump scares you and does like 5 HP. Yeah, I know, so scary. But he actually gives you heart attacks. Basically, he's like the only guy who still scares me to this day. Besides Screech is still terrifying. No matter how much Screech scares me and how much Timothy scares me, they're still gonna be terrifying. That won't change. Okay? You can't change it. You can't. You literally can't change it. Now, when you have like 3 HP, he can't even kill you. Yeah, he won't even do any damage, or he'll do like 1 HP. If you have 1 HP, then he won't even kill you or anything. He won't do any damage. Yeah, it's weird. Okay? It's just weird. Now, the second person I want to talk about is a rare person who has like, I think 1 in 2,000 chance of appearing. It's Window. You all know him. Slash Sally, which in that case, I guess you could call it a girl. But for this video only, I'm calling it a boy. Oh, what the? You don't... Okay. Anyways, for this video's purpose, I'm gonna just call Sally, I guess, Window. So, there you go. It's Window. For the sake of this video. Now, Window, as the name explains, can only appear in Windows. Yeah, I know. So they literally had to take a break after coming up with that. Only appears in Windows like these. See? Now it has 1 in 2,000 chance, I think, or something like that. But yeah, it's all right. I've gotten 2 of them in the same room once. I had a total freak out, I guess. I got 2 of them in the same room. So why wouldn't I? But yeah, that was my first time getting someone super rare. Yeah, they don't affect in-game gameplay. Letting you know. There's also gonna be no badge for them. Because yes. The Doors developers don't want a badge. Because they said they're too rare. And to be honest, I kind of want a badge. So I could flex. Don't blame me, I just want to flex. They have Window. Alright, and the final one I'm going to talk about is Shadow. Alright, now, out of the 3 ones that are like really rare and are just there, which is Hallway Jack / Red Room Jack, Window, and Shadow. Shadow has to be my favorite. I don't know why, but I just think he's cool. I like shadows for some reason. I always like dark stuff. You know, I like the feeling of dark things. And that also goes for the reason why I like black more than white. I'm not racist. Wait. I said I like black more than white. I thought I said I like white more than black. Okay, I ain't racist. Well, quick rundown. I like black more than white because it's darker and it doesn't hurt my eyes every single time I look at it. Whereas for white, it does exactly what I just said. Hurts my eyes every single time I look at it. So if you want something to hurt your eyes every single time you look at it and you have sensitive eyes, look at Window. But Shadow is cool. He's cool. He's my favorite out of the three. Shadow, Window, and Hallway Jack. / Red Room Jack. Now, I like him because he just, looks cool. He gives me a pretty cool vibe for some reason. That not a lot of our people give me. Except for Ambush. Ambush's noise when he enters is real cool. And me and my brother both agree on that. Now, I've actually got Shadow twice, which was on door 3 and door 99. I'm not even joking when I say I got him on door 99. It's not even a joke. No joke. I got this man on door 99. Don't believe me? Well, I got him, but I didn't even see him because I just heard the noise or whatever it sounded like. I know what he sounds like, but both of the times I got him, I couldn't even see him. And to be honest, that's pretty sad. And what do we learn from this entire game? That every single person is meaningful. Thank you for watching if you actually just didn't skip people's parts. If you watched the whole video, then I could call you extremely loyal fan. But none of you probably don't get that ranking. You all probably came from HTF. Which I'm never doing again. Because HTF is a curse. Just like you. Anyways. Wants to see me die. Oh wow, now you guys are gonna stick around, okay? Who am I gonna die by, guys? Who am I gonna die by? Jack? No, Jack. Fun fact about Jack, I've got him only like 2 times on closet hunting, and I got him on door 50 once. Totally not rare. I'm talking about in a closet. But. Oh, really? Really doing this to... Really? What? Alright, come on. People want to die. People want me to die, you know? There we go.